believe in divine intervention? Do you believe that there are forces in the universe that help us in life's journey? Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. A man was walking on the road. As he reached a particular point, he heard a voice. It said, "Stop. Don't take another step forward." The man stopped. The next moment, a big brick fell right in front of where he would have been had he taken the next step. The man was thankful and he continued his journey forward. As he stepped a little forward, there came a road which he was to cross. Again, as he was just about to cross the road, he heard another voice which said, the same voice, which said, "Stop, don't take another step forward, a car will run over you." The grateful man stopped once again. Exactly at that moment, a car came careening around the corner, barely missing this man. This man was truly grateful. He looked skyward and said, "Who are you?" And the voice said, "I'm your guardian angel." The man considered this for a while. He said, "Oh, so you're my guardian angel. And where were you when I got married?" People, the last time during my little talk, I had mentioned that I hail from this beautiful town called Arvankad. It is situated in a district called Blue Mountain. And it's quite aptly called Blue Mountain. The reason being, there are mountains all over. Though they're not really blue, but there are mountains all over. One of the pastimes that I partook in during my school days is that I used to enjoy playing this game by name Seven Stones. All of us children in the neighborhood would get together and play Seven Stones. Now, since it's a mountainous place, there are a lot of elevations, and your house or your play area is generally elevated. Right? So you've got to be a little careful playing at times. On one occasion, my sister, myself, and a couple of children in the neighborhood, while we were playing Seven Stones, my sister tripped and fell over 20 to 30 feet elevation. It was fortunate that she survived the fall with with a shin bone fracture and a couple of stitches in her chin. A lot of adults who visited us during the time mentioned that this was divine intervention. I was willing to consider this possibility, but the experiences that I witnessed later in life raised doubts in my mind about divine intervention. For example, when my sister grew up, she developed this disorder of the mind called schizophrenia, which was a constant source of sorrow and struggle for the entire family, including her. I really started to wonder, is there something called divine intervention? If so, what's its form? Friends, at this point, I'd like to share with you two thoughts based on experiences I've had in life, which has altered my thinking. Here is the first. We used to live in this place called CBD, near a restaurant called Camellia. I'm sure many of you know the place. So there used to be a couple of bachelors. And the company we used to work for was just across the road. We used to work in split shifts. So the morning session would end somewhere at 1 o'clock, and then we would come home, have lunch, have some rest, and then go for the afternoon shift at 3 p.m. And then we would come home only after 6 or 6:30 p.m. On this particular day, what happened was, I remember distinctly that I think it was me who had closed the door of the house while we went to report for the afternoon shift. So we reported for the afternoon shift, the house was closed. Once at the office, a thought came to me that for something very trivial, I've got to go back to my house. This is never the practice, right? Generally you come to the office, you are in the office. But for a very trivial reason, it occurred to me that I've got to go back home. When I go back home, what do I see? The stench of leaked LPG was all over the place. Someone had accidentally turned on the gas in the house and not remembered to turn it off. It was fortunate that I was there and I turned off the gas. That day a major calamity was prevented by my unusual going back there. Do you think this has a feeling of divine intervention?
Yes.
Once. So let me share with you this next example. The next example is here. In the year 2005, I went through a crisis of the mind. I call it the crisis of the mind because there was a very unique situation in my mind. I needed answers to a couple of questions. If I don't get those answers, I'm going to enter into depression. So depression, hopelessness, and despair, these were my companions for a long time during that period. It seemed that there was no point to explain my situation to my friends or to loved ones because they would just not understand. In fact, I did try that, but they would just not understand. I contemplated about the idea of suicide, but then I had to consider the fact that the fear of the unknown was one thing, that's it. And second, I thought about sorrow that it will bring to loved ones. And the third thing, there was no guarantee that it's going to put an end to the mystery. So, with a faint ray of hope, I clung on to life. Over the period, that with patience, clearing the dark clouds of confusion, a wise friend appeared with a method and words which were absolutely suited to solve the problem which I was facing at that time. This friend of mine was basically like for a lonely person in a hot desert who's lost. A gentle breeze, a gentle shower, and a direction. And the direction to this friend was, Sajan, just be. Sometimes it really takes courage to just be. I continue to be, and it's with gratitude in my heart that I share with you that I stand in front of you today with the strength I derive from that person's words. So what's my message? My message is that beyond all trace of doubt, I've come to believe in divine intervention. In fact, sometimes I think that the world is a divine in action. Where is the need or room for intervention?